Hi, I'm Jan Kinney, the storyteller, and I have a story for you. It's presented by the Southern Alleghenies Museum of Art and the Pennsylvania Council on the Arts. Yeah! My story today is about frogs. Now, there are little frogs and medium-sized frogs and great big frogs. This is also a story about my grandpa. My grandpa, a long, long time ago, when he was just a boy, he had a crush on this pretty little girl who lived across the creek. Well, every day he'd finish up his chores and he'd want to go across the creek to see this pretty little girl. And he didn't have a problem most days because he could just walk across the creek on those stones that stuck up. But sometimes when the rain poured down, that creek would get a little deeper. So Grandpa wasn't too sure just how deep it was going to get, so he would go down to the shore and he would call out, "How deep is it? How deep is it? How deep is it?" Do that with me. How deep is it? How deep is it? How deep is it? And those little frogs that lived right along the riverbank, they'd call back, "Ankle deep, ankle deep, ankle deep." So Grandpa would take off his shoes and socks and he'd wade out a little ways. When the water started getting a little deeper, Grandpa would holler out again, "How deep is it? How deep is it? How deep is it?" And those frogs that were a little bit bigger would kind of sing back, "Knee deep, knee deep, knee deep." So Grandpa would roll up his trouser legs and he would keep on walking till the water got a little bit deeper. And then he'd call out again, "How deep is it? How deep is it? How deep is it?" And those frogs that were a pretty good size would call back, "Belly deep, belly deep, belly deep." And Grandpa would kind of scratch his head and think about whether or not he really wanted to see this little girl, and he decided he did, so he would keep on walking. But the water was really getting deep now, and Grandpa would holler out again, "How deep is it? How deep is it? How deep is it?" And that big old bullfrog that lived right there in the middle of the creek, he'd sing back, "Better go round, better go round, better go round." And I guess Grandpa did, because that pretty little girl on the other side of the creek, she ended up being my grandma, and, well, here I am. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Until then, a story, pass it on. A story, pass it on. A story, you have heard a story. Now take that story and pass it on. Please do, because that's what storytelling is all about. Yeah.